Hello, everybody. Good afternoon, or good morning, or good evening, wherever you are, or whenever you are listening or watching. Thank you for joining me. My name is Zsuzsanna Hörcsög. I'm a psychic and a medium, an intuitive coach, a teacher, a therapist, and I was just inspired to come here live and say a few things. So, first of all, thank you for joining me. If you are new to the page, a special welcome. And thank you for finding this page. And then I hope you will find everything interesting or useful here. And then if you are an old member, then extra special thank you to you to be here. So here we go. I am just present here. I don't know, this Christmas preparation. So it's December, all the Christmas preparation, and then the putting up the Christmas trees. You might have different traditions or different background, traditions, different understanding. And then just very briefly, where I was born, where I was brought up, uh, oh, hello, I can see somebody. Manny, thank you for joining me here. Thank you. Lovely to see you here. Thank you. So I'm just saying, all the Christmas, I will bring cards here as well. But I just wanted to tell you something about the Christmas, the putting up the Christmas tree traditionally, where I was, or how I was brought up. We put up the Christmas tree on the 24th. We will start putting it up in the afternoon, so it is ready. And that's a very, very special night, the 24th of December. And then the Christmas tree is there, and then we take it down just before New Year or just after New Year. So that's the tradition. And since living in a different culture, different tradition, different set of everything, I always found it a little bit strange that people started putting up their Christmas trees in October and November and early December. But this year, I'm really feeling like putting up my Christmas tree much earlier. And I know that last week I was saying I want to put up my Christmas tree. And then it's interesting, it's not really the Christmas tree I want to put up or what I want to entertain myself with the Christmas tree, but then the lights, putting out the lights and switching up the lights, not the big lights, the main ones in a room, but then all the little fairy, all the little lights and all the candles and all those things. And the Christmas tree is just a day after Thanksgiving. Oh, wonderful! Yes. And then, so if you put your Christmas tree up the day after Thanksgiving, how long do you keep it on? What is your tradition? Share it. It's just absolutely good, beautiful how we can share our things around. No, that's interesting. So I just go back to this one. I'm realizing actually it's not the Christmas tree, but then the lights. And I was thinking, do I actually need a Christmas tree as a tool to hold my lights, or I can just put all my fairy lights and Christmas tree lights and everything around the place, and then when the time comes, I put up the Christmas tree and then I hang the lights up. December the 31st. Oh, okay. So it sounds like that you put the Christmas tree up earlier, and then as the new year comes in, you have the Christmas tree down. It looks like, it feels like. Yeah, so actually, we got quite a long time actually to enjoy your tree and your lights as well. Um, yeah, that's fascinating. Um, so thank you for sharing this. I did not know that how people would or how the Christmas trees goes with the Thanksgiving. Um, so yeah, I'm learning something here. So the yes, being drawn to the light, especially after this year, what we have had here, what we are having right now, somehow we are drawn to light. And I was thinking, yes, we are light workers, working with light, working with frequencies, working with energies, and the highest of the highest, I always say. And then I'm just drawn, especially drawn to having light, and whether it is any kind of big light or just a candle, just a simple candle like this, like one of those tiny little candles, anything which gives out light. And somehow I feel it's so important, especially this year, that we are allowing ourselves to experience that light. And when we feel that maybe our light is a little bit dim inside for whatever reason, but then we light a candle, or we switch the light on, so that vibration is around us, and then it's allowing us to feel that warmth and feel that brightness. And then the warmth, I'm not talking about the physical feeling warm or feeling cold, hot or cold, but then inside ourselves, how we are drawn to feeling the light and needing the light much more than probably any other time in our lives. Whether you are surrounded by people, or surrounded by family, or surrounded by community, or you are experiencing this time alone, it just does not matter, because you can be surrounded by many people and then there is no light, there is no, you miss that, you lack that frequency. Or if you live by yourself, then where does that light come from? How can I generate that light? And it really makes me feel that, makes me think that actually that light is really how much within ourselves, and then we need to find that light in our heart, in our soul. And when we are drawn to how I'm feeling, I'm really drawn to light, just a very, very tiny source. Even, well, yes, we light candles all the time, but then this time of the year, it somehow really feels like definitely have to have more of that, to feel that light, which I see externally as a candle, but I know that the light is within me. And when I'm focusing, when I am with the light, then my own inner light is being lit up. And then in fact, there is no difference between a light outside of me, like a candle or fairy lights or anything, and the light within me, because that is a source of sparkle, source of light. You see, I'm looking for a word, but I can't really find a word here. But then somehow, what I want to say, I'm really feeling like being drawn to the light, and it made me think that the light worker is being drawn to be with the light. Although I know what the light is within me, or at least I have a little sense of what the light is here. But then somehow it feels even more important to spend time with light, and not necessarily switching the light on and sit in a room fully lit up, but then just have a candle and then just being with that light and meditate with that light, and just observe what is happening with the light. In fact, you don't want to observe, you just want to be with the light. You just want to experience. You just want to experience. Yeah, you just want to experience. And then in a way that when we have a light, I have to be very careful here while I'm talking this, I'm not going to drop this. When we have a light like this externally, and while we are allowing ourselves to feel that brightness, we notice, of course, we notice how our physical body responds to it. So the breathing is calmer and deeper, and we feel that space around ourselves. So in that sense, that this little light, when we are in the space of light, we allow ourselves to be on that level where we are really feeling our own light, if it makes sense. So when we are drawn to light outside, source of light, then it is really reminding us of the light within. And right now, how I am feeling that, yes, I really feel like little candles and lights and all over the place, and then just having just one, like this one, that there is a great need of all of us to be quiet, to be silent, to experience that silence, to experience that space around us and within us. And then while we allow that space within grows, and while we keep our focus on the light, the space within us increases and grows, and that opens something within what we need to experience, and that's something which is a lot of people are not really brave enough to look at, or brave enough to hold the focus and the attention. But in fact, what we need to experience is the light within. And then if we need a source like that, then be it, have a source like that to really feel your own light, if it makes sense. You see, I'm speaking slower here because I'm feeling more of a sensation than the actual word, what the word can describe the experience. So yes, it is December, so we have to we really have to have that moment or series of moments when we give ourselves the light, because if there is darkness all around us, and then there is no other source of light, we cannot find the light outside. So the only source of light is within. And there is a great need for everybody to find that source of light within. This is what I want to say here. And not just finding the light within, but nurturing that light within, Because as we move forward, now December goes out and the new year comes in, one needs to have that light going and being present to that inner light, because that is the source of strength for the soul to face whatever that individual with that soul needs to experience or face, if it makes sense. When you focus on a candle like this, or when you focus on a light, a source of light like this, in the very, very moment, not now when I'm talking, because now my mind is talking, okay? My mind has to be there because it gives the language to talk. But then when we don't speak, there is that space when we are very, very present to this light. And in that very space, the sensation of the past and present and future dissolves. Because when you look at a candle, just like I'm looking at a candle, one moment is just gone and the next moment is just gone. And the candle cannot find, that light cannot find itself, its way back to how it was a moment before. So that moment has passed, that now moment has passed. And in that sense, there is no, that light is always there in a very moment, just in a very moment, just in a very moment, just in a very moment. And then if we take this analog for the inner light, yes, we understand our lives as past, present, and future, but in fact, that soul, that light within, is just always there. And we need to be aware of that, and we need to be able to tap into that source and tap into that light, lighting that light, being present to that light, and knowing that it is always present, and it's never ending, it's always present. So even when the physical body together with the person's identity and mind is not there, but then that light as a soul and source, that is always present. I hope it makes sense. I feel it's really, I feel that there is a significance I need to speak about light. And then I feel that, yes, the whole conversation began with me being drawn to putting my Christmas tree up, and then having the lights around the house, and then talking with a candle. But in fact, the inner light wants to find the outer light, but in fact the main source is the inner light. Because if we objectively don't have the light outside, then that light needs to be there, and it is there, and we need to tame it, we need to be present to it, we need to work with it. And then similarly, just think about, if you take your conversation back to society or communities or families, if the light is dim in any community, and then you are present to that light within, and then you hold the focus to your own light, to that extent that nothing and nobody can hush around or do anything with your own light, that when you enter a community, or when you are part of a community, be it a family or community or nation or any of that, then your light is just there. That's a source for yourself, and then in this way a source for the others as well. And then you never know that maybe the person next to you might be the one who needs most the light, because that person one way or another will find you physically sitting next to you, physically talking to you, wanting to get your attention. And then from your space, knowing that you have the light, you will see that maybe the light is a little bit dimmer for that person, the inner light. And there's nothing wrong with that, because the time has been such that people with bright lights, a few people, well, a lot of people, the light is going a little bit dimmer or maybe brighter for some people. So the light is trying to balance itself out. And in this way, when you are with somebody whom you feel the light is a little bit dimmer, then it is your mission. I'm not saying it's your task, but it is your mission to allow the other, to allow the light, just to, actually you don't have to allow anything. You are just there, and then you are there to provide the sparkle for the other person. So from your soul, the light which is already established and being heard, then the other person is getting a little sparkle. So in this way you help the other person to light his or her own candle. And then if you keep the focus in this way, that in fact you do not have any other mission, in a community, in a family, in a community, in a nation, if you don't have any mission, just to be that light, just to be that source of light, without wanting to know or wanting to have anything. But then your only focus, your only mission is to be the light. Then you lived your mission, you lived your life with a purpose. And in fact, that is the only purpose what one can have, to hold the focus of his or her own light. And when it is needed, then you are ready to, you are just present, without any wants and needs. Those people, those of us, those of you, okay, who have been present to this light and have been working with light, especially the last few months or the last year, there is that greater need or greater awareness to in fact use the light to burn within those things which are not relevant to any present moment. So meaning that in this sense, the light is burning things, well, energetically within, what is not needed for that given individual. So that in itself the light is purifying itself and purifying the channel to allow that light to be even brighter or shine even brighter. The analog is that when you put a little candle like this into a misty jar where the glass is misty or dimmed, and then from the outside the light is not that visible. We know there is light there, but it is not as visible and not as clear as it would be otherwise. But when we put a candle into a clear jar, a crystal clear jar, then we immediately see there's a jar, there's a container with a clear container with a light. And if you put the candle into a crystal jar where the crystals are already heightened with the frequencies, and we put the candle in there, then the sparkles and the light what that jar, that crystal jar is giving out, is being multiplied. Because if you think about a crystal and all the facets of the crystal and all the heightened frequencies it gives out, then the light goes not just directly from one place, one point to another, but then it goes through like the prism, and it goes into all different directions. And then in this sense, that the light is able to reach many more places, meaning many more members of a community, than when it is just a simple jar, or when it is a jar with misty where the container is misty. So in this sense, if we take that the actual human person, the human human body is a container, then when we have a candle, when we focus on our light, on our inner light, and we focus on this light, then it is everyone's own task to allow that light to burn what it needs to burn. So burning off what it does not need, so that the container is clearer and clear, and is always striving to be clearer. And in fact, that individual with that container, like the body mind, okay, does not need to know the outcome of that process, and the light is burning what it does not need, what that individual does not need, the body does not need. So there is no attachment. There cannot be an attachment, because when we have that attachment, that yes, I'm allowing myself to clear, to get clearer, I cannot have an attachment, because I cannot know what the outcome of that process is. The only thing what that individual can do is just allowing the process to take place. And when you allow, then you trust, and time will tell how that light, your inner light, the source, is going to shift and clear things within you, within your body, within your mind, within your heart. And in this way, maybe how you perceive yourself as a jar, your container, okay, yourself with misty glass, misty container, it becomes clearer and clearer. And when you intentionally focus on your light, working with your light, working with your soul, then there is a way to become that crystallized, or even more crystallized, even more clearer light, when you are able to hold the frequencies even higher. And then when you hold it higher, continuously being able to hold higher, then the chances that your light reaches even greater communities, or has a special place, is even greater. So the invitation is, you light a candle and you don't have to think, you don't have to meditate, you don't have to do anything, you don't have to watch your breathing, you don't have to watch the candle flick, you don't have to look behind, you don't have to look to the side, you don't have to do anything. You just have to be. You don't have to watch your breathing. You don't have to focus on this. You don't have to control your breathing. So that when you do that, then you are able to see something, and then you get something here and there and whatever. You don't have to do anything. The most wonderful thing in this is that you don't have to do anything. And then when you are doing this, you don't do anything. You are trusting and you are relying. And that is the only thing what you can do. You can trust, and you trust, and then you allow. So here we go. It's quite special. So if you are drawn to having your candles lit or your lights on, then you need to go with that. If you feel that your soul is really telling you that this is what you need to do, then you need to do it. If you feel that you need to put your Christmas tree up because then that is a container of your lights, something to hold your lights up, then you do that. But if you feel that you are happy with a candle, just like here, then you do that. All the concepts that what traditionally we do in a society, that you put your Christmas tree up and you don't put it up, and then you do this way and you do that way. It's just so very irrelevant, you know. The only important thing is that you follow what you feel in your heart. You follow what your soul is really longing for. You trust that it is for your greater good, not just for your greater good, but then it is, if it's your greater good, but it is the greater good for, it is for the greater good for many other people around you. Okay, so this is how it works. So that you just trust and you just allow. Then what happens is that if you have this sensation that yes, my soul is longing for something, and then if I put it to the side, if I hush it to the side, hush, I'm not paying attention to you, I'm doing this way or I'm doing that way, then that sensation will come back, and it will find you. It will be nagging you. It will give you signs that you need to do something, and you need to allow what your soul is really asking you to do. It is just with a human mind and human body where we put boundaries, or where we restrict ourselves. We cannot say that yes, we don't have the mind, we don't have the body, because right now in this reality we need that, we need those, but we can work with it. And then the only way is that we trust, we allow, and we trust, and that is where things start shifting. Okay, so the invitation is, it's not just for now Christmas, before Christmas, but in any time as we are ending this year and moving to the next one, then just be present to that light, the light in your soul, and just trust and to allow. So here we go. I share this with love. I did not know it was coming to me in this way, but then this is what always happens. So share it with love, and I'm sending you this lovely little light here. Not going to tip it over because the wax is going to pour on my computer here, but here we go. So thank you very much for joining in, watching. Close your eyes a little bit, breathe, take a comfortable breath, and put your focus in the center of your heart. Continue breathing. And be present to that light within yourself, within your heart. Give your thanks for that little light being there in your heart. Comfortably breathe into it. And just know that that light is always there. That source is always there. And whenever you are ready, you open your eyes. Thank you very much for being here. Thank you very much for joining me. Thank you very much for listening and watching. I will keep the little light here for everybody. Put it there somewhere safely. And like here. And sending you lots of love, many, many blessings. And thank you for being here. And speak very, very soon. Lots of love. Bye for now. Bye. Bye.